Record. Sweet. So quickly, let's just jump in and do a quick temperature check. I'd love to hear from all of you. 30 seconds, no big deal. If you have nothing to say nothing. But please, hopefully some of you will say some things. How was your experience using Talkadot? Sharing it, feedback from your hosts, feedback from maybe the social media massive, feedback from clients and all. We always love to just hear unfiltered user feedback on how it went, especially with you all being somewhat newer users of our tool. Anyone can jump in first. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate you.
Sure. So I just used it for the first time and it's phenomenal. I love it. I mean, it's really incredible. And I've been telling everybody about it because what happened was I got off the stage and I was talking to a room full of urgent care users, providers, and they're just a quiet bunch. So when I got off the stage, it wasn't like, oh my God, it was like crickets. So I was like, what just happened? Like I didn't know, did this land? Did they hate it? Like what happened? So it was only when I got home and then I got to read what they wrote and saw the surveys and I was like, oh, okay. Right. And that's such a huge value add. And even with what most speakers do, which is they'll use the QR code and they'll give their free thing to capture the email, you still don't get the whole survey aspect of it. So having the results, that data is really next level. And then to be able to then capture booking leads and referral leads, I mean, that's just gold. So I want to thank you very much for the service. And I can't say enough about it.
Oh, awesome. Well, you know what? You bring up a really, really good point, and I want to bring up two sides of a coin that you brought up, Sharon, for everyone, which was one of the things that I wanted to cover today. So, like, thanks for teeing it up so perfectly. Is one, sometimes as speakers, like, there's a really simple question: how do we know we did a good job? Like we'll go, well, I think I did a good job, or maybe the audience gives me feedback. But what happens when you have an audience like that, who is they're giving you nothing? Like, how many people have ever had that audience member who looks like they're totally zoned out the whole time and you can't help but notice them, and then they come up to you and be like, Laura, you changed my life today, and you're like, you're not the one I thought that I reached today, and they're like, nah, you said everything, and you're like, I didn't think so. A lot of times as speakers we can get kind of locked in and we don't really know what the temperature of the room is. So that's really, really powerful for us as individuals. But here's the other side of this, which I think is super powerful. Your event host feels the exact same way. So you do your event and the event's like, I loved it, but did everyone else love it? What did everyone else think about having Doris come in? Like, I thought it was good. And then typically what event planners will do is they'll walk up to people and they'll say, hey, what did you think about the keynote speaker? Hey, what did you think about like, they're trying to get a quick pulse of what people thought, and then they actually can settle down. So one of the things to do, so like step one, if you will, of things to do with your report is actually at the event, if you can pull it up on your phone or your laptop, show the results to the host as soon as you possibly can. This does a couple of things. Number one, for the host, it makes them go, yes, it was successful. So they can immediately lower their, that anxiety that they feel. The same anxiety we feel at times. Like sometimes we know, we're just like, okay, I 100% killed it. Like this was the best. Like I know, like, I'm OV every time I step off the stage. It's 100%. I kill it every single time, right? But to know that, especially if you're dealing with a new audience, a big audience, a new type of person, you feel that, they feel that. So I like to show it to them to say, hey, look at this feedback. It accomplishes lowering their anxiety levels, which is important for you, which then gives them a better overall user experience with you, right? Assuming your scores were good. Like if your score sucked, go back to the lab. Don't show them. Don't be like, if you got 40s, don't be like, look, 40% of people found it value. You gotta go back to the drawing board. That's all. You just this is helpful for drawing board stuff as well. But it makes them have a better overall user experience with you. And then by showing them the data, they'll also be impressed. This has happened to me on my speaking engagements every single time. They go, how did you get it so quickly? How did you get this so quickly? That's so cool. And now you've got technology that they don't have access to. It makes you seem a little bit more involved. And then if they're having conversations with people, what's interesting, and you'll see this is subtle, but this is very important. there's a difference between going, what did you think about the speaker? And the speaker was amazing, right? Like it's a very different question. And if they have the data and they know 98% of people loved it, they can also lead those conversations, which then leads to a more positive kind of avalanche, if you will, of positivity versus like that negative energy where people is like, what'd you think of the speaker? What'd you think about the speaker? Like, I don't want to share my cards first. So anyway, I'm really glad that you brought it up, Sharon, because that's not only things that we experience, but the event hosts experience. So if you can diminish that as easy as possible, it creates a better overall experience with you, the speaker.
And then I just want to follow that up with two things that I think would make it better, since you asked. So
Mm-hmm.
the first thing is, and I know you purposely don't ask for this, but the people who are, especially those booking links, those referral people, phone numbers, because we send emails and sometimes they
We do
don't
get phone
respond.
numbers.
Okay, I don't think I
So
got phone.
yeah, it is up to the user. So if they say they want to book you, the next thing we do is say, give us your contact info. If they
Okay,
put in their phone number, then it will show up. If they don't put it in, then whatever they put in will show up.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I know you guys generate that, you generate like a little report
Yes.
image as like a summary, and then you generate a testimonial image and you just pick one testimonial. I don't know, does that automate, like, is that automatic? Like, does Mike, do you pick which one to highlight? And I think like the question that I have is, it would be cool if we could pick which one we want, because the one that we get isn't always the one that's coherent or the best.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. So Mike is usually when he sends you his email recap. So if anyone gets an email recap, Mike is just selecting one of them. Now, if you log into your account and you go to your report, let's say it says, excellent insight into people, and this is the one that I'd like to share. All you
Yeah.
do is click on these three dots right here and then go download shareable testimonial. And then you can share
Oh,
any testimonial. So if you've got
oh,
one
that's
or two,
awesome.
you
Okay.
can do that. And if you want to put like, this one and, this one. So the star feature helps me pull some to the top. If you can see, those starred ones are now here. And then when I
Uh,
go to share testimonial here, those ones are clumped together. So it's just a way to clump some of them
oh,
together.
that's good.
Yeah, so we got you on both those fronts. So it's a great question, but we got you back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, love it, love it. And that's why we do these calls too, because like some of the stuff is like elegantly designed, but it could also be hidden, and we want to make it unhidden for you. So thank you, Sharon. Gina, I saw your hand go up, and then Neil next.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for doing this, because you right on the money with that last comment. Like, they're there, but they're a little hidden. You got to know. One thing I've only used it twice. Okay, so here I am. I've used it twice, and one of the experiences I wanted to make sure I shared, because it was hugely valuable for me, was how to tee it up. Right, not to just have the slide, but like how to talk about the slide. And you do that little video. Thank you, of how to do it. You gave us the actual words. So I took my phone and I pulled up Otter AI and I listened to you talking and I recorded it and then downloaded that transcript and dropped it in my notes so I could practice how to say it. And I don't know if you guys do that, but it's a brilliant little thing. I shared that with my mastermind and they're like, ooh, that is smart. So you could also save us a little time and just drop that text from that chunk of the video, right?
Yeah.
And save us that little extra step. So it's a small thing, but that was hugely helpful. And I think for most speakers know that you don't end on a Q&A, like bad news, don't ever do that. And you really have a great way of like priming. That's the word Melina Palmer would use. I don't know if any of you know her, but she's brilliant. But priming, to say, Errol, in your video, you said, how many people got a lot out of what I've said? And show of hands, right? So you already are priming them to think that it was great. And then you tell them to scan the code and share how great it was, right? So it's brilliantly done, brilliantly executed, and I hope everybody takes advantage of those words.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. And I'm actually in the process right now of building out an ultimate user guide for Talkadot that will literally have everything in one video and then chapters. So adding that into the resource section sounds like a fantastic idea, which I wasn't going to do, but I'm going to do now. So thank you.
Thank
Super good.
you.
Thank you. If you already have it transcribed and you want to email it to me, go ahead and email it to me and save me that step. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no, but
You
I'll
got
also
it,
do
buddy.
it.
You got it.
I also do it. My email is arel@talkadot.com, by the way. Arel@talkadot.com. So if you want to ever email me directly for any questions whatsoever, please do.
I have
Anything,
it, by the way, so I'm happy to send it to you and you can send it on.
if you could, I
I
see
got you.
people using Otter AI. I just haven't used it yet. So if you could just save me the step of having to download it, watch
I
it.
actually like paused and typed.
Oh, did
and
you?
paused. I did. I did.
I like how you.
So I got
She's still doing the human side of things, and I appreciate that.
in some ways. Yes.
I like it. I like it. Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, so the teeing it up, to double click on that just slightly, the tee up, you'll find words that feel comfortable rolling off of your tongue. As long as you hit certain elements when you tee up Talkadot, which is you want to let them know why you're asking for the feedback, right? So like, I want to know what you like so I can do more of it. I want to know what you dislike so I can do less of it or improve upon it. Let them know time frame, less than 2 minutes. Tell them that there's something cool if you're giving away something, that cool thing. If you can tee it up earlier, the cool thing, so that you like tantalize them with it. Like what I like to do is say, you don't have to take notes during my presentation. I'm going to give you a summary at the end. People go, oh, that's so awesome. And then I say, hey, if anyone wants a summary, here's how to make sure you get it. So it's just a way to get them excited about it. And then the biggest thing too that you might have experienced when you tee up Talkadot is feeling uncomfortable when they're taking it. Like you have 2 to 3 minutes where you're like, what do I do? What do I do right now? So if you did feel that comfortability, some very simple things that I recommend trying out is I walk up to my host and I just check in with them real quick and I say, hey, is anything else, how's everything going? Is it going good? Anything you want me to say? We're going to wrap up real quick. So I do a quick touch point with them, and usually they say, oh my gosh, it's great, thank you, or make sure to mention that the macaroni and cheese is vegan or whatever they're going to tell me to say, and then I'll make sure to tee it up however they like me to. I literally have a stack of papers. This sounds ridiculous, but this is what I have a stack of papers that I bring with me that got nothing on them. I just go over to the stack of papers, I shuffle them, I rifle through them a little bit, I'll take some notes on it. It makes me look like I'm doing something important. I also will review. I do my thank yous at the end of my presentation, not at the beginning. That's a stylistic preference I have. I don't like thanking people before I've earned the right to thank them. I think a lot of people thank their host in the beginning and the audience doesn't care. They don't know who you are. So like, why do I care that you said thank you? So I wait to the end once the value has already been shown. Then I thank the people. So I kind of write down any names of thank yous, or I go over the names to make sure I don't forget anyone. So I give myself a little bit of something to do. Or one of the things I've been doing recently, which is a little outside my personal comfort zone, but I like it, is I sit in that presence, I sit in that uncomfortability, and I look at the audience, and I actually send them positive thoughts in my brain. I'm getting woo-woo. I go a little woo-woo. I send them positive thoughts in my brain, and I'm present with it, because as speakers, sometimes we're in this tunnel where like, like you get on stage, you speak, and then it's over. And it's almost like you weren't there because you're in the zone. And I like to kind of step out of the zone and be like, wow, like I'm like with these folks and we're sharing this moment and I'm doing this thing I once dreamed of and it's my profession, and like, how cool is that? And sending them positive vibes. And that's actually been really, really pleasant. And like, try to have a pleasant look on your face. Because if you have like they'd be like, why is he staring at us like that? Then that's kind of, so I try to have a more softer face when I do it. Okay, we'll move on, but thank you very much for that. Neil, what's up, brother?
When it comes to when people offer their emails to opt into your email list, is it possible for them to also have to put in their name? Because I've used it twice. And for the people who have opted in, I have their emails, but I don't all have all of their names.
Yes, that's correct. So the way that it's a great question. So right now, the contact information of the names, the phone numbers, titles, we capture that all for the leads right now. The reason why we don't capture it for the emails is because we've tried to figure out how to make the survey as short as possible. So they throw in their email and their code to start it. We have not put in a space to capture name, so it's just a generic email. But I'm going to add that to our things to review and things to revisit, because it might be helpful for you to have their first name and their last name, so that when you're sending your email newsletter, you can say, "Hey, Joe." Dun, 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 dun. Is that kind of what we're saying? Is that kind of like what you hope to do?
Yeah, at least their first name, because I do send out an email newsletter every week, and I typically have people's first names.
Yeah. So it's super helpful. So I'm gonna mark that down, and Mike has already marked that down for us to revisit how to throw that into our flow for those folks without extending it. So I appreciate you bringing that up, because it is important. It is actually very important.
Yeah, we do know it's important, and it's just exactly as Aurel was saying, like trying to figure out the right place to put it so that we're not breaking the flow. But I think there's we've got a lot more data that we can think through. So definitely helpful to hear that it's important, and we know it is. So we'll keep thinking about the right place.
Yeah, and it's also helpful because when you say things like that, Neil, it helps us know what's like at the heart, because we're constantly working on features, and sometimes we may be working on something brand new where we might need to go in and like take care of some stuff that we've already maybe mentally figured we locked really well. So it's really, really helpful to hear stuff like that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. One other thing, if
Please.
you were to have multiple speaking engagements on one day, does Talkadot know which survey to add, which survey which surveys to add to which event?
Yes, great question. So let me show this to you, because this might be something that you might be thinking about. Let me pull this up here. Okay, so this is a dummy account. This is none of this is real data here, so it looks all crazy and wild. So you could have multiple speaking engagements on the same. Actually, you know what? Let me show you my real account, because I did that and it might be more helpful. Hold on. Okay, so now we're going into my real account here. Hold on. That was my dummy account, because I want to show you how it works and then other things you can do. Okay, so this is my real account. So this was a presentation that I did for a group called Big Eye Michigan. They're insurance agents. I did a keynote and then 3 workshops as part of their conference. So our system batches your feedback based upon time chunks. So if you do our keynote and then ask for people to give feedback, all of that feedback will typically come in during a time band, and our system automatically will time band those for you by when they come in. So you could do 4, 5, 6 presentations on the same day, and you'll have no issue with the system automatically parsing it out. However, sometimes, let me go back to the dummy account here. Let's say this event here and this event were the same event, but someone decided to fill out your feedback 6 hours later because maybe they scanned it and they didn't do the feedback at the time, and then they're like, "Oh, yeah, Neil was dope. Let me give him some feedback," and they go ahead and give you feedback. So now you got this like one stray response here. All you would do is click here and then click here, and you'll notice that this jumps up that says merge into one event. And then you just say, "Yes, I'd like to merge it." And we go, "Are you sure you want to merge it?" You say, "Yes, I'd like to merge it." And then it'll take 9 and 1 and then merge them together. And now you see it says 10 responses here. So you can do multiple events on the same day. You can do, you can combine them all. You can keep them separate. So like if you did 3 workshops, but you just want all the data to show as one workshop because it was the same group, you can combine all 3 of them with no issue. Does that answer the question, Neil?
I apologize, I was on mute. So in the event that you get that stray survey 6 hours later, you will know which event it came from? It should have belonged to?
Yeah, so what you'll see is it'll have like a stray response. And then what I would recommend doing is just clicking on it and reading what the feedback is, and you'll get a sense of, you know, which one was it. Because if you don't put a title or the organization's name into it, let me pull this back up so you can actually see what I'm saying here. So if data comes in, but you don't put a title or a name of it, it'll just show up as add details. So when you click on this report, since you haven't told the system what it is, it'll just say speaking engagement report. That's kind of our generic thing. So if I look at the feedback and it says, hey, great info about how to get in front of decision makers. Oh, I know what event that was. And then I'm going to just merge it. Do you want to come in? Okay, hold on, come on in. I'm working from home, y'all. My son keeps staring at me and he's like in my peripheral. Come say hi. Come say hi. Come say hi real quick. All right, here's my son. Say hi to everybody. Here's the peoples.
Hey.
Okay. Mwah. Now go over there and hang out. You can hang out here. Because he's like right there. And he's like, you know, like you got the human. Does anyone have a small child that just likes to stalk them when they work? Like I got that's my guy right there. He just likes to be in front of my office. So to answer your question, Neil, the way you would know is by reading it. And what we've ultimately found is most people won't give you feedback 3-4 days later. It's typically at the event, and if you're lucky, a couple of hours later. So if it does sparse out, you would just combine them. If you ever, Neil, do you ever do webinars or recorded content that you might put out?
Yeah.
You do. Okay. So there's a feature I think you might find interesting. So if any of you do recorded content, you'll notice that this code has a lock on it. So what is that lock feature? So if you click on these 3 dots on any event and click edit event, and you scroll down to this section that says advanced settings, and you click here, this will say lock a code. Here's what lock a code means. Let's say you do a webinar or a virtual talk for an organization, and in it you ask for feedback. But you want to, this video is going to be shown on YouTube or in maybe a company's library of educational resources, or you do a LinkedIn post and it's going to be there in perpetuity. When you lock a code, so let's say we lock the code list and click save changes. Now, anytime anyone ever uses the code list, when they fill out your Talkadot flow, all of that data will go here. So what you would do is if you're ever creating a virtual talk where you're like, I know that this is going to live on the internet long after my talk is over, all you have to do is lock the code, and then all the feedback will go to just that one speaking engagement. So it's not time chunked, it's chunked by code, okay? And make sure that that's not a code you're going to use for something else. It has to be just for that talk because all the data is going to go to just that one report. Is that helpful?
Great. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Awesome. Super great. Thank you. Doris. Is it Doris or
It's
Doris?
It's Doris. It's
Doris. Okay, thank you, Doris.
Yes. You know, I don't have the blonde curly hair, you know, Doris Day. Not that. So, first of all, thank you. I've used it twice, so I'm a new user, and I've already recommended it to 2 other people that connected with Mike because I thought that was great. So it's like, why not spread the good news? And they have done it, and then they put on social media, you know, the snapshot of the reports, which is awesome. So a question that I had was, so I had my talk yesterday, my second talk yesterday, and of course I came home. I should have done it in that place to show the event planner. I didn't. So I'm working on it this morning, and I have 80 people that responded, or whatever it is that responded. But here's the question. Is there a way to integrate those people who signed up to, let's say, my CRM, you know, or some kind of an email system? Like I use Flowdesk, whatever that is, because then I spent 2 hours this morning. I should have given it to my VA, but I didn't because I was controlling and I wanted to get it done before that. And I said, oh, I might as well just do it. It would save us some time if it's somehow connected to a group that I create previously on my Flowdesk. And I said, you know, these are women in leadership, you know, which is the group yesterday. And then I come home and all these emails are ready to go in this. So then I can send a blast thank you and whatever acknowledgement or something like that. So that I think would be a really cool step forward.
Yes. So I'll tell you what you can do now that hopefully shouldn't take you 2 hours. And if what I'm about to show you is what you did and it took you 2 hours, this is very important for us to know. All right, let's go. All right, so this is all dummy data. So I can show you this. These aren't real people. These are just like fake names or whatever, right? So what you can do is here where it says download leads, you can download the leads as a CSV file, and then you should be able to do a bulk upload to your email software. The email software that you use, then do you have automated emails or were you sending individual emails?
No, automated. Some I can schedule it any way I want. So
Okay.
some of it is automated. Some of it is when I feel like I want to, and I send them. Like today, it's not automated. I'm sending it, and I'll schedule it for like 3 p.m. or something.
Yeah. So one of the things that we have, which again is what we have now, and I'll show you what we hopefully will have in the future. So what we have now is the ability for you to download them as CSVs and then upload them. Then you can tag them. If you already have an automation that's built into your CRM or into your email software, just tag them into an automation that starts it. We have an automation that we've already built that works for ConvertKit. So ConvertKit is just an email marketing solution. They give you 1,000 leads for free. So that's one of the reasons why I like recommending them. So we have an automation. If it's helpful for anyone, I can give you the automation that has all the emails and the tags and all that stuff done. And then you just add it to your ConvertKit and then it sends out and it works. So in terms of like a Zapier or a Zap that automatically zaps it in, that's something that's on the roadmap. It's not ready right now. The closest thing that we have for something that's ready right now is if you go to settings and you scroll down, if anyone has SpeakerFlow, which is a speaker CRM, we have a direct relationship with them and integration so that all of your data goes into your CRM. So right now you kind of have to download the CSV, upload it. We've got some automations for you. In the future, we hope to have some zaps or some feature like that so that no matter what you use, you don't have to be constrained by the ones that we have available.
Okay, thank you. That's something to look forward to. And then I will look. The way I did it is because I sent them a self-assessment. I was working on 2 different systems, so I will try to be a little smarter moving forward.
If it's an individualized assessment, I don't know how to like get around that. So like, good for you for being so like amazing. If it's like a link to an assessment they take, I would recommend just creating a tag in whatever email. One moment, could you turn that off, my son? Thanks, buddy. My son's being mischievous in the corner. Can y'all hear that machine buzzing in the background? Now I'm getting self-conscious. No? Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Stay. I'm just being real with y'all. My kid, he likes to come into my office. If I lock my door, he just stands there the whole time. So I'm keeping it unlocked. Then he comes in, he starts working on my chair massager in the corner. I don't, it makes me uncomfortable. I like to acknowledge it so I can move past it. I'm gonna move past it right now. Okay.
Move past it.
We're gonna move past it. So yes.
So I have another question. Question. So you just mentioned if somebody comes later on, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, and fill it out later on, we do not get an email alert or something that somebody went into Talkadot. So what are the ways? I mean, because I only look at it literally after the event. I go home and I only use it twice. So I go home and I open my computer, and sometimes not even the same day, because like last night I was wiped out. I'm like, I'm not looking at this until Friday morning. And so is there a way that we can get an alert saying, oh, somebody at this date just fill it out when it's not connected to anything that I actually have done?
Yeah, that's actually super helpful. One of the things that we are constantly trying to balance is helpful but not pesky, right? So right now when you do a report, you get an email from Mike the Legend, right? So we're thinking through how we create alerts so that they're useful, but what we don't want to have happen is, you know how you have stuff you sign up for where you get an email, you don't even open it, you're just like, LinkedIn sent me an alert, suck it LinkedIn, I'm not checking that email. So that's something that's super important to us. So yes, we are thinking about alerts, but we're also trying to manage sending useful information that you look forward to opening. And we don't ever want to become background noise in your inbox as well. So we're trying to figure out what the perfect balance of that is, but we will note that to figure out, like, should we test if alerts come in, having messages sent out? And then if people start not opening our emails or ignoring us, we'll revisit it and we'll see what's best.
No, I think that's brilliant consideration, not to be too much, because we all have been on the too much side. But
Yeah.
I think, if it's something unexpected, like, oh, Doris, did you see that somebody has commented, somebody has filled it out? I don't know. I leave it up to your brilliant minds to figure out what the
No,
best
no, this
way to do
is
it.
super helpful. Yeah. So what I typically do is I typically check it right after, like you said, and I have a very quick mental checklist. First thing is I show it to my host. If there's anyone in the audience, by the way, as a sidebar, if there's anyone in the audience that like is a decision maker or maybe they've expressed interest to you, I like to show it to them as well. It's like, oh, check this out. This is the data from the thing. I was so hype about it. The piece of feedback that I always hold in my head, the data is always should be used to show how grateful you are, not how great you are.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be, look how great I am. I nailed it. I'm amazing. Look how great I am. It's, I'm so grateful that the audience resonated with it. I'm so grateful that this message locked in. Oh, you have the conference going up. I'm so excited about that because when I looked at the data, check this out. Here's what everyone was saying. So to know that I get the chance to do this with more people with you is something I'm so excited about. So it's always about grateful and not how great, how full of greatness. Maybe there's a way for me to flip those around. It's about grateful, not full of great. You get it. You get it. You get it.
We get it. We
You
get it.
You get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doris.
Absolutely.
Lori, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to comment and compliment on how you do the leads and referrals, because I do not love the phone. And this is the first time I'm actually picking up the phone and calling people. And I have two really good leads on deep work to do after. And I used it for the first time I've ever done a performative keynote. And I had a little glitch in the beginning where they projected my image down on the confidence monitor. And every time I moved, I distracted myself. It was like a giant Zoom screen. Found out later that should have been disconnected from what was going on at the big screens. But I had to ask them to turn that off. So in my head, if I hadn't had Talkadot, I would have said, oh, they all were quiet. They're safety professionals. That was a bomb, man. And it wasn't. And I really I just picked it up from there, moved on, and it went great. But if I didn't know that, if I didn't have Talkadot, I would have had a lot of head trash going on that wasn't true.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that when I call, they take my call and they respond back if I make a couple of calls. I've never had that before. I've had to go to conferences, spend multiple days there, and wonder who the good leads were.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Kudos.
Well, you know what? I really appreciate you saying that, because this was the pain that I had, like as a speaker, because normally you would do lead capture and then you're like, well, how do I sparse out? Like I got a big group of, I think I have an old one here, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I have this sitting here, right? So you go to an event and you get a bunch of, business cards, and now you're like, oh, this is great at the event, but then you got to go home and look through the cards and be like, who is this? I think this was the person. Hey, was this? And then you don't really remember. And then you come up with really systems that you think will work, like bending the corner of the card, be like, these are my hot leads. Anyway, so to have it all in one digital that you could also revisit months later, weeks later, and it's all done for you. So anyway, it makes me happy that you appreciate that, because I hated it personally. So,
I'm selling it to all my friends.
yeah, thank you. Please, like I said, it makes Mike happier than Chihuahuas do. So
I
the more you
love
tell
that.
people, the better. Cool. Thank you, Lori. Gina.
Yeah, thanks. The idea that Lori just shared, I want to kind of reflect on that a little bit. I don't know if you're using that for promoting to speakers as a reduce your trash talk in your own head by using Talkadot to, right? So if you're not, please give that some thought, because I think that would go really far. I'm not a new speaker. I'm new as doing it full time as my, career. And that is a challenge, probably the number one challenge, right? Yeah. I know my talk kicks ass. I know that. There are times where I don't deliver because I'm in my head way too darn much. And it has helped me get out of my own head. And I feel like that really would go far. So that's do with what you want, but I think that's valuable.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. 15 years in corporate marketing, so I apparently applied something. Second thing though, I wanted to ask about timing. So because I'm in my own head probably too darn much, I do a talk and then I don't put the information out on a LinkedIn post right away or on Facebook right away. And I'm wondering your thoughts on, I have the talk coming up, the same talk, different group next week.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if it is a decent idea to post some of the feedback from the last time as like priming a bit for
Yes.
the group coming up.
Yeah,
Anybody done
100%.
that? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. So the way that I recommend doing it is saying something to the effect of, I was just reflecting on my last presentation because I have this new one coming up. And I was reading through the results of the last one, and these really jumped out at me. Bam, 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 bam. And it really, motivates me or inspires me to give my best for this upcoming group. I can't wait to do it. So, using your reflection, you could say something 5 weeks later. One of the things that I like to do as a speaker is study my own game film and figure out how I can be better. I was looking through my reports and I noticed that, a person said this and this, and it really got me thinking about da, 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 da. So you can always kind of go play the reflective game, the game tape game, the improvement game, and pull something back. Like literally just on my Facebook page today, if anyone is on Facebook, I'm the only Aurel Moody, very easy to find. I posted just a bunch of like random testimonials that people had said on my story. And it was just like, just honored that people say this stuff about me, just, taking a moment to step back and reflect on it and then posting a few. So it's never, it's always evergreen in my opinion, if the positioning is correct.
Following up then, just real quick, because I know you're working on it anyway, that that guide that you're going to do, having a page of, even if it's not fully scripted, but giving people an idea. I find that right now I'm solo, it's just me. I haven't hired a VA. I haven't done any of that yet. So trying to manage all the stuff, right? To even have a few of those words, like here are 3 different ways you could blah, blah, blah. The language that you deliver off the top of your head, it might take me an hour to come up with. So anything that you can save me time on, I just love you guys. This is great.
I'm making a note right now to add that in. So this is, and we'll continue to add to that list and make it better and better. So like these type of reviews, like we love putting this stuff together. I personally love putting this stuff together because I know what it's like to have a conversation with someone where they figure it out in 3 minutes. And I was like, I've been on this for 3 hours, man. I get drive. So like, if we can take that off your plate, we're happy to do so. Like happy to do so. Yeah. Okay, cool. Happy to do that. Thank you. Jane, what's going on, Jane?
Hey, I'm late to the party. I'm sorry.
Fashionably late. Fashionably late,
Zoom.
Jane. Fashionably late.
Fashionably late. Three things. The first is, how many people can your system? Curious.
Jane, you
I mean, how
blocked
many
out
people when you do the survey? What does it max out?
Oh, does a survey max out? No, you can have 10,000 people take it at one time. It should have no issue whatsoever.
Okay, I've got that kind of blows my mind, but that's exactly the amount of people I'm going to be speaking to in about 3 weeks.
Ooh, Jane, stadium status. We got a stadium status,
child. Listen, at my age, speaking to FFA in a state, but I'll take it. They pay, I'll take it. But I love speaking to young people when I do. The other thing is the comment that was made just now about, posting stuff. I think, to your point, it's more not self-serving, not that it would be, but it would be neat to see what people are saying and position it like, I'm seeing a trend in speaking, wanting to know if you all are seeing this too. It seems like people like more blah, blah, blah from comments that I received on Talkadot. So if you could position it to be for information for someone else to help them, I think it'll get much more traction. That's just my opinion.
That's good.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to ask you, and if I'm late coming to, this has been discussed, I like y'all's follow-up letter. What's been frustrating to me, to be honest, I get all this big, yeah, you go girl. And then I've reached out to these people and I haven't heard anything back. And then I've reached out again. So you all do have the sample email to send out 5 days after. is there any way, and is there another follow up if they don't follow up? And so, do you know what I'm saying? It would be so nice to have something like that. Maybe it's already there and I haven't seen it yet. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, so I have and I'll add this to the list of the ultimate guide. So there's a 5-step email sequence that I highly recommend. It's very easy. And I will share that with, I'm gonna put it into the ultimate guide, and if I can find it, hold on. I think I can find it really easy.
Is it already there? Did I miss
No,
that?
it's not. It's not. It's a resource that we would have to add. There we go. Is that right? Let me just make sure I'm opening the right document. I'm gonna share this with you. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna share another sequence with you that just muted me.
Uberell, you cut out for a second. I don't know if that was just on for me, but you're muted. Arel, you're muted. I don't know if you can hear us.
Is there something in the chat possibly?
Yeah, no, I muted myself and I was talking and I was doing that whole thing where you talk and no one hears you and then you're like, what are you like? Is it 2020 and you don't know how to use Zoom around? That's what I did. Give me like 5 seconds. I'm gonna upload it into the okay, cool. It's going into the chat box right now, and then I'll give this to Mike as well for him to send this out to you. I'll add this to the user guide that I'm creating. It's just a sequence on how to follow up with people without being annoying, and actually helps get a higher response rate. So we have a generic follow up of what to send out to people, but this one is a little bit more for you individually to follow up with someone. So it's just a little bit more nuanced. So I kind of break down how to do it and then what the 5-step email sequence looks like. So I just put that in a chat. I think that might be useful for you. And I'll be happy to share it in our overall user guide so that you can get more folks.
And one more little tiny question. I don't mean to monopolize. I hope I'm not, but I would like to be a little more funky with my slide. You know, I've got my little picture, a little circle, but is there any way you can have it where you could, I know y'all have a Canva thing. Can I throw it into Canva and make it more fun looking as long as I keep that code and the important stuff?
Yes, so I will answer that in 2 ways. So the first way is yes, you can. It's your thing. You can do what you like with it. The only thing that I will say is we've done a lot of testing on what actually gets people to take the survey at the highest level. And what we found is that when people add too much to the slide, like they'll add their social media contact. We actually started our slide with the social media on it and the slide. And ultimately what we realize is with your social media being at the end of the survey and the clickable links, you actually don't want to distract people in any way from what you want them to do, which is scan the QR code, put in the code, take the survey. What I would recommend doing is telling people at the end of the survey to click onto your social media links to do so. Obviously, it is up to you to do whatever you want with your, you can download your QR code, you can download your link, you can throw it in Canva and build it however you want. I will just let everyone know that we actually are constantly testing stuff on the back end on your behalf to get the highest rate. What we found is that if you tee it up right and use our slide, you could get between 60 and 80% of an audience to fill it out. And then on the survey flow, we're seeing around 97% that start it actually finish it. So we're constantly trying to optimize on your behalf. So I just want you to know in the background, it's done with intentionality and it's your slide. You have the right to do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, I just, you know, instead of just a little circular picture, I just got some good shots of fun stuff, and I thought it'd be fun to slap that on there. But I could, in other words, I'm going to trust your testing, so I'll keep it like it is.
Okay. And if you want to change your picture, you can change your photo in your settings. If you want to throw in something a little bit more like me with Arel with hair, Arel without hair, Arel with the mohawk, right? So if you just go into your, I'll show you real quick on my screen here. Let me pull up the account. Okay, so if you go over the upper right hand corner and click on your image and then go to settings, which is this page right here, you can always click on your image here on the left and then update it to anything that you want it to be. So I'm gonna update it just for fun because this is a dummy account. I don't really care. Let's do I don't know. Now I'm gonna think about this too much. Can I find a
But
picture
the
of me?
but the size remains the same in the circle, correct?
The size does remain the same. So if you want to make that part bigger, that would be outside the scope of what we can do with our thing.
Okay, yeah, I would trust your test marketing more than me.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah. So, and again, a lot of times people like to design things and make them better, which obviously you all have the right to do. But our goal is to figure out how do we get people to take the survey. So now, like if I wanted, like this is an example. Now I'm a unicorn. Yay, I'm a unicorn. Look at me, I'm a unicorn. So you can do stuff like that, and then this unicorn will show up everywhere. But again, feel free to use however you like. Again, the last time I'll say it. Our goal is to get people to take it, and we want to test it, and we look at the data on the back end and figure out how to optimize and make it better. So it may
Yeah,
not be the most flair, but it's effective.
yeah, that's fun. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jane. Thank you for joining us.
I have a question, following up on Mike responding here to me. I am right now on my Talkadot, and it seems like two of the testimonials are already selected. So I'm trying to unselect them and select two others, and it doesn't allow it.
So what you want to do, can you share your screen by chance?
I would be happy to.
Yeah, if you can share it, I can tell you exactly what to do without.
Okay, here you go. Here you go. So this is my thing. So
Okay, so
two.
Yep. So you see those two now. You want to remove those from the top left-hand corner? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm just trying to play with it. Yeah, and see if I can do. Let's say if
Yeah.
I want to do both of them on the one, then I go here and download shareable, and now. But here but I only see one.
Right. So
See?
what you want to do is click out of that.
Okay.
So just like click off to the side to make that disappear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like right there. Perfect. Now scroll up. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. All right. Do you see where it says share this report?
Yeah.
So click on that and then click download testimonials. And then when you click there, those two will be there.
Okay. So thank you. So how do I unclick those? Let's say these two, and let's say I want to use these two. For
Perfect.
example.
So do you see the blue star on the left-hand corner there?
Yeah.
So, or go to the one on the left column. So click that star. Now click it again. And now they've been removed. So the ones that you do want to bring to the top, now click them with the star, and you'll notice that they shoot over to the upper left-hand corner. And those are the ones that will download for your testimonials as a batch.
Okay. So when I press the one on the right, it moves itself to the left.
Yes.
Oh, Doris, I was like, what? I'm clicking. Why is it not becoming blue?
Yeah, no, yeah. So when you click it, so click on any one of these, like click on the one you're on now, it says most social professionals. Now you see it says most social professionals on the left-hand side.
Okay, so then if I want to do these two, then I go all the way back up,
Yep.
share this report,
That's right.
and then go download testimonials, and here I have both of them.
Boom, right there. Good to go.
Huh. Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, I hope this was helpful to other people besides myself.
This is important to everyone. So
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, so thank you for that. So I want to give you a couple more things here because I know we're coming close to the top of the hour, and I want to be respectful of your time. I'm happy to stay on for a few minutes extra if anyone has extra time. If anyone's like, I got a meeting player, I can't be waiting around talking to you. You can also jump, and I won't be offended in any shape, form, or fashion. So a couple of things to do with your report. Okay, a couple of things to do with your report. Number one, share it with your host right at the event. I like to send an email. And we have a template that's going to be in our ultimate guide that we put out that I share with the host. If I have a high value score and a high people want to hear me speak again, what I say in the email is based upon the data, the audience really wants to hear more of this information and hear from me again. Let's set something up where it's appropriate. So I reference the data for the rebooking. So it's not my opinion, like, do I want to be rebooked? The data says it. The other thing that I do in that email is I encourage them to share the report with all of the key stakeholders. The odds are super high, like the chief financial officer that's signing the checks probably wasn't at my event. They just saw, oh, it cost me money to bring in, this person. Was the value add there? So I like to have them share that report with their committee, with their stakeholders. all committees have a debrief meeting. If they're worth their salt, they have a debrief meeting after your conference. So if they can pull this up during the debrief meeting or share it with people, then it's like, look at, everyone had to say about Gina, isn't this great? Then it's making them all feel like this was really good. So this increases your rebooking, this increases your referral rates. When you reach out to people, I like to find a report that is useful, like in reference to them. So like if I'm speaking to other insurance agents, I'll take my report from the insurance company that I just spoke at, and I'll say, here's what other insurance agents are saying that you can share with your team. It just helps people feel better. And I want to show you a quick new feature. Okay, I'm gonna show. This is available, so y'all could do this. Let me go here.
Almost available.
Almost available. It's almost
Because
available.
it turned it on, so we're almost there.
It's almost there, but this is really, really cool. So if you click on your image of your face, there's going to be this pop-up that says your public profile. When you click on your public profile, and I'll show you what it does now, and then obviously we're going to get feedback and make it as best we can. This is an aggregate of all of my speaking engagement data, right? So I can now share, here's what, out of 2,366 total attendees from my most recent events, here's my value rating, here's my reattend rating, here's how many talks were virtual versus in person. Here was my engaging, interactive, inspiring, actionable, relevant scores. And then they can click and see any one of the presentations here that I'd like for them to see here. So the reason why this is helpful is because I can now put this into my email signature and say, here's what other people are saying. Now, here's the thing. I could fake the funk on one presentation. I could fake the funk on two presentations. But if I have presentation after presentation after presentation that is showing a high value rating, a high reattend, and they can click on any one of these and see it, and I'm not afraid of sunshine, it makes it more easy for people to say yes to booking you. It also, if you're doing any email campaigns, maybe you don't want to decide which event to send. Maybe it's like 5 are available. Here's all of it, baby. It's like Trustpilot. I ain't got nothing to, I do a good thing. Here's my good thing. So that's something that we're rolling out. It's going to be available. We want to make sure we do it correctly. But as new users, we always like you to be aware of new features and stuff that we have coming up too. So that's something.
What popped into my mind as you're describing this?
Yes.
What popped into my mind is that the speakers who want to use Talkadot are those speakers who are really confident and want to be better and are doing well. And then it reflects back on the Talkadot for event players, for event planners. They would say, oh, if they score high on the Talkadot, that means that they're really good. So it works. I think it benefits you guys as much as it benefits the speakers.
Yeah, I appreciate really you saying that. That means a lot to us because we ideally want. Remember when you wanted a cab and it was dirty and the cab driver was smoking and they didn't care if they went to the pump to fill up their gas, and you're like, this is a horrific experience. And then Uber came out and they're like, well, we want to create a standard. And now everyone's Uber driver is clean and they here's a bottle of water, and because it raises the whole kind of transportation. Uber raised it. We have a vision of helping raise this industry. We want the cream to rise to the top. We want the bad speakers who are a-holes to work with and don't really have a good message and they just kind of got lucky and they've been in the grind, and people who are really good. We want to be able to give those people who are actually good and dedicated to the craft of impacting lives a place to rise above people who have been dialing it in like that cab driver. So anyway, that's super important to us.
I think that's what's going to happen at the end. The more people who are really committed to their speaking career and serving other people, and the more it shows up on those questions, the better it's for everybody.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I know I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes. I saw your hand went up, Gina, so I got you. If anyone else has other questions, I'm happy to stick around for a few more minutes. I'm also aware that people schedule things on Fridays and have things that they have to jump off and go to. So if that happens to be you and you have to jump before you go, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be doing more trainings next week. We're doing one on AI. I've been using ChatGPT and my Talkadot data to do some crazy cool stuff, like crazy cool stuff. So if you want to see how I've been using it and leveraging it, join us April 19th. We also have a town hall. Our town halls are where we open it up to our whole community and we let you know about all the cool new features that we've built based on your requests. We take your requests to see what you would like us to do. We like to hear what you're doing, like what's working well, so we can double down and make those features better. So please, if you get emails about town halls, join those. We have an incredible community of speakers. Everyone's lifting as we climb. And this is how we create a product that you love. So definitely join us for the AI training that we're doing next week, and definitely join us for our town hall. Mike, if you could throw the calendar link, if you could be so kind. We have a calendar link that if you accept it, it'll have all of our upcoming events there, and you can just add them to your account, hit yes or no if you can make it, and then it just like takes care of it for you. So he'll throw that in there, and we're happy to get that to you. So thank you all for being here. I'm gonna stick around for a few more because I know Gina, you had your hand up. If anyone else didn't get a question answered, thank you. If not, let me get a quick screenshot. Everyone smile if you want to be on camera. I'm gonna do a quick, yeah. Okay, cool. You want to get in it? Come on in it. Come on. Okay, he's gonna be in the screenshot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you. Okay, Gina, what's up? I want to get to your question quick. I'm sorry, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, real quick. So in my feedback, somebody added a comment about wanting to have essential oils in the room. What? Had nothing to do with my talk, nothing to do with really anything, in my opinion, but somebody might find that valuable. And I'm wondering, it's just maybe a future, right? But like temporarily, like don't show that or something. Like I want to share that with the hosts, right? If they want to do something with it, great. But I'm not going to start bringing essential oils as a speaker to
Correct.
all the places I go. So
Yeah.
I feel like a little minimize this or temporarily remove it, and then but it's still there. I don't know. So just a
So-
thought, because I was like, that's
I'll give you, yes. So I hear you. People will say things like, you was wearing Jordache jeans. I don't trust anyone who wears Jordache jeans. You're like, come on, that's a random thing to like write in the thing. So humans will be humans. So there's a couple of things that I'll say about it, a couple of things. The first thing is, I actually personally don't mind those, and I'll tell you why. If I go to an Amazon product and I look at the reviews, I'm expecting to see 5-star reviews, 4-star, 3-star. I'm expecting to see wild boy comments, like people say, like, I wanted my thing on Tuesday, it came Wednesday, 1 star. It's like, okay, take it easy, cowboy. Like, you're a little aggressive. So, like, if it's all sunshine and rainbows, it feels less authentic and real. Like, so those kind of random comments, I would kind of readjust how you look at them, because one of the pieces of feedback that we got from event planners when we started this way back in the beginning is they know that when speakers do, if they do a Google form or a SurveyMonkey, they can delete comments that they don't like, and they kind of want to see it all. And they're good enough to know, like, it's essential oils. Like, I'm not going to say Gina's not worth coming back because of essential oils, right? And it's like, you know, it's essential oils. Like, you
I
gotta,
showered that day, everybody, just so you know.
it's
like I was good.
But what happens is, in the same way, and again, I would encourage you to think about your own buying patterns when you go to an Amazon product. You'll look at, you don't expect everything to be all 5 stars, actually. Like, if something was all 5 stars, you actually distrust it, because you go, did they buy these? Is this fake? So sometimes those random comments actually create a better believability, because it goes, well, if she left in the essential oils comment, she's not deleting things, so I can trust that everything that's supposed to be here is there. Now, if it's ever something that is inflammatory, like, I don't believe this. I don't think women should be on stages speaking. They need to be like, if someone said something ridiculous that was offensive or mean, like, let us know. And if it violates our like use case, like if it's sexist or any of those things, we'll get rid of that for sure. But if it's like essential oils, we like to keep that because it's like, it's real. Oh wait, was someone saying something? No, okay, cool. Jane, was that helpful, Gina?
Gina?
Jane, yes.
Yeah, can I speak to Gina just for a sec?
Of course,
Yes,
yeah.
Hey, Gina, if I were you, I'd go in Canva. I'd make the funniest graphic. and I put on there who likes essential oils at an event. That'll get you more traction than anything. That's hilarious.
You know that
I'd make fun of it, not in an ugly way, but say, hey, have you ever had other weird things happen? I had about 50 of them. I was at a book signing at Cracker Barrel, and this old guy came in and he said, you write that book? And I said, yeah. I want a copy. He said, no, I want a toothpick. Well, that was the funniest thing that happened the whole time.
that's funny. You know,
That's
and I
good.
think
That's
leaning into it is such a great. If you ever notice, whenever you put yourself out there in any way, there's gonna be like one of the things that will happen too is at some point you're gonna get like comments that might hurt your feelings. I'll share one from I don't think it hurt my feelings per se, but I think it's worth sharing. This person said, I saw a rel a few months ago and really enjoyed it. This was the exact same presentation. Would have been nice to have some new info approaches and jokes. And I was like, you know, it was the same presentation. Like this, I mean, you just happened to see me twice, right? But it's like, it's the same. I'm not going to create a brand new presentation for the same topic. But then I got a little self-conscious. I got a little bit in my feelings like, man, maybe I shouldn't be telling them dad jokes. Like maybe, you know, but in all reality, like I can lean into it. I was like, I don't know, these jokes are still funny, you know, like, and I can lean into those things a little bit more. So Jane, I really like what you're saying about flipping it around and being like, turns out my talk, if it only had essential oils, would have actually impacted lives. And so I think there's some wisdom into that, Jane. I really appreciate you sharing that.
That's good, Jane. And I could see like
You could,
all the people that sell that stuff, like I could tap in.
We're having a
well,
Zoom
yeah, I
talk
mean, it
over.
will just start a conversation, and that's what you want on social media. You want to start a conversation and get people engaged, and that would be, I think.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. Yeah, sorry for the talk over. Sometimes we have a delay here. I think I talked over some of you too. So, but no, I agree with what you're saying, Jane. Other questions? How about yeah, buts, what if? Sharon, yes.
Super quick. So I know you just dropped the bomb about the AI thing, and I definitely want to hear your entire presentation, but can you give us like a little taster of what you've been using it for?
Mm-hmm. You could take all your data and turn it into a press release, right? So you just spoke at an event. Turn all this, you just tell ChatGPT, turn all of this into a press release as an example, right? Then you can share that press release with your clients so that they're posting it because they would love to do that, but they don't want to write it. So you're getting media mentions and you're providing value for them. So that's like a very simple example of something you can do like right away. You can have them come up with reasons why you should get booked for events based upon it. One of the fun things that I've done, I'll show you this real quick. I'll go into more detail with other stuff, but I think this would be helpful. One of the things that's actually hard for us to do is explain how we do what we do. All right, so there's some other really, really cool stuff, but I'll show you this one because I really love this one because as speakers, I think we can appreciate it. So let my internet catch up to us. All right. Okay, so I'll show you exactly how I did these prompts and how I did it during the training. But one of the things that's sometimes hard for us to do is explain to others why they should work with us, why we do what we do, why are we so good. It's hard to actually talk about ourselves. So you can take all of your data and with the right prompts, ChatGPT can summarize like, I took like lots of it. And these are the 5 reasons. These are the 5 most common things people say why they like working, what they liked about my speaking engagement. That Arel simplifies complex processes, is engaging and relatable, empowering and inspiring, provides practical advice, and is highly recommended, meaning people would refer me to other people at a high level. So what's really cool is that sometimes like, okay, I talk about burnout, but what's my je ne sais quoi? What's the thing that makes me so different? Well, you can take all of your data and then use prompts to starting to parse out what other people are saying about you. And then you can be like, yeah, you should book me because I'm going to do all these things, but you know 100% you're going to do all these things because this is what your data is consistently saying through trends. So these are some examples of like the cool AI stuff. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Are you taking your testimonials and doing copy paste? Is that kind of what you're putting into the AI?
Highlighting all, yeah. So you go into the, have you gone to the view all section?
I don't know.
All right, let me show you my screen real quick. Hold on.
Right.
We getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I like y'all, so I'm gonna do it for y'all. I'm gonna do it. This was fun today. All right, hold on. Here we go. Let me pull this up. I got slow interwebs today. Bang. Yep, we go here. Okay, so if you go here, this is a snapshot of what people are saying about you. If you click
Yeah.
view all, this gives you what everyone has said about you. So you just want to copy all of it.
Okay.
Copy that and then paste that and then drop it in to ChatGPT with your prompts. And what I did is I just copied like a lot of reports. So not just one, like copy. And I was like, analyze all this data. If you put in too much, ChatGPT will say like it's too much words. And then you just
Sure.
kind of like delete. I want to get the maximum amount of data input. So, you know, eventually we hope to have stuff that will like make this easy for you. But for now, ChatGPT solves a lot of problems.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you kind of giving us a snapshot.
Yeah. Absolutely. There's some other cool stuff that I won't go into the details of. And so I'll be giving like specific prompts, how we do it, and then how I surface it up and use it. But it's just like, it's like having a professional on everything that just wants to work for you all the time. It is pretty cool. I won't go into the negatives if anyone wants to be like, isn't this the Terminator movie come to life? That's not what we're doing. We're just showing the positive rainbows and sunshine part of it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Sharon. Any other how abouts, yeah, buts, or what ifs? Jane, is your hand up?
Yeah, I think you're more fun than what you just put out there, to be honest.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. I don't do anything fun. It's all bad.
No, but you're funny and you're warm. I'd copy and paste that in AI
I
again. I'd make it,
appreciate you, Jane.
I'd say make it more fun and warm. 'Cause you're fun and warm. That's like, okay.
I'm gonna add an
I
asterisk.
said to you before.
Oh, I'm losing
Yeah,
you, Jane.
you're fun. You're fun and warm. That's huge.
I'm gonna add an asterisk that says, according to Jane's data, I'm also fun and warm, and I'm gonna lean into that, Jane. I appreciate that. I take that to my heart, right here.
Yeah, you're not. A lot of people are those words, but you bring more to the table.
I
You got a
appreciate it.
great personality.
I considered adding I know Mike Mays to it because I'm like, I like to kind of like leverage how awesome Mike is as much as I can.
And I put the next bullet. I'd say, hey, and people like.
Oh, Jane, we're losing you. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jane, we're losing you. Jane, if you can hear me, we have lost you completely. It's robotic. Or you might be going through a low service area. I'm so sorry, Jane.
Want to, hear me?
I know that sound just came from your window, but I don't know what the sound was.
Yeah, I just think your personality comes through more. So when I've read it, it's good, but you're better than that.
Well, I can't think of a better place to end this training than Jane making this brown boy blush. I think we're gonna end there, and I appreciate you all for joining us. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Jane. Poking and Mike, thank you always for being the best you as you can be.